Hi, I am back with another tutorial on Spring Boot. Let's check the final demo that we are going to build. This is a plain login page that comes with Spring Boot. Pretty basic, nothing fancy, but it does it work quite well. Now we have created our own customized login page. Even we have added a feedback message if the wrong username and password are provided. Here are the two simple steps that we need to follow to achieve our goal. First of all, configure Spring Security to show our custom login page and stylize our login page. That's it. It's that simple. If you want to get the full source code of the project, scroll down to the description. I have provided a link to the GitHub repository. So, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and start watching this tutorial. Now let's start our coding journey. I have created a project and opened it in my IDE. I have created it as a Maven project, so all of the information and dependencies are defined in the POM file. Let's check our POM file. Here I am using Spring Boot version 3.1.4 and added necessary dependencies like Spring Boot Starter Security, dependency for Thymleaf, Spring Boot Starter Web for web dependency, and also a couple of other dependencies. You can check about all of this from the source code from my GitHub. If you have some existing project, to follow this tutorial, make sure you have those dependencies added. Now let's start our server. The server is started at port 8080. Check it in the browser. In my local environment machine, the URL is localhost 8080. This is our login page that comes with Spring Security. The default username is the user and the password is a random string generated by Spring. You can find it in the console. Let's try to log in. Give the username, copy the password from the console and paste it into the password field. Login. This is a white label error page saying 404 not found. This is because we have not provided any endpoint for the root URL. So after login, when Spring redirects us to our root URL, it finds nothing is configured for this. So it shows this error page. We will fix it later. Let's log out /logout. Click logout button. Once again, our logout page has a rather dull and uninspiring design. We are planning to give it a fresh and beautiful look. So here comes to our step 1, that is configure Spring Security. In this step, we will set up Spring Security to let Spring Boot know that we would like to use our own special login page instead of their basic one. Create a new package. Let's name it config. Inside the config, add the security config class, annotate it with @configuration to mark it as configuration class. Again, add @enable web security to get Spring Security and MVC integration support. Next, we will create a method of type security filter chain. This method should accept an HTTP security object and let's name it HTTP. Finally, make sure to return http.build. This method is crucial for setting up security configuration. It determines how HTTP requests should be filtered and secured. Returning http.build finalize those settings, making them ready for implementation. This throws an exception. Let's include it in the method signature. Annotate it with bin annotation to turn it into the bin. Now, after HTTP, add .form login. Within the parentheses, insert a lambda expression form arrow form.login page. Here we will define an endpoint for our login page. We will name it login and don't forget to use permit all to whitelist this URL. Now, let's focus on restricting access to other URLs. To do this, we will add authorize HTTP requests. Within the parentheses, we have a lambda expression auth arrow auth dot anyrequest dot authenticated. Next, set up a controller to handle this logout URL. Start by creating a new package called controller. Inside this package, create a new class and name it login controller. To let Spring know that this class will be acting as a controller, annotate it with @controller. Creating a controller is essential for managing the behavior of our web application. It acts as an intermediary between the user interface and the backend logic, ensuring that the right information is displayed when a specific URL is accessed. Let's set up a get mapping to handle the login URL. Create a method named login with a return type of string. In the return statement, specify the name of our HTML page responsible for rendering the login page. We will name it login. Inside the resources folder, navigate to template and add a new HTML file named login. Make sure to adjust the title and include some text as needed. Let's kick off the project and take a look in the browser. Spring is now showing our newly added login page. Now step 2. Let's start customizing our login page. To style it, we'll be using Tailwind CSS Framework. Go to tailwindcss.com to find their documentation. Go to Get Started. They have given us several integration options. I recommend taking some time to explore them on your own. For now, I will show you how to work with the CDN. Let's start by copying this code sample. Now go ahead and paste it into our login HTML page. In the head section, add a title. To use Thymleaf, we need to include a specific namespace. Just do a quick search for Thymleaf Namespace on Google. Visit the official Thymleaf documentation page. Search for the namespace section. You will find the namespace we need right here. Just copy it and paste it into our HTML tag. That's it. We can now start adding HTML elements. Start by adding a form within the body section. Set the action to our login page. And remember to include this th. It's a specific attribute modifier for Thymleaf. It helps to compute the login URL correctly. Let's start by setting the form submission method to post. Inside the form, add a div. Within this div, insert an image tag for our logo. I have already created a logo and saved it on my desktop. All static resources like images, CSS, and JavaScript are stored in the resources static directory in the Spring Boot project. Let's create a new directory inside our resources static folder. Name it images for storing our static images. In our case, it will be our logo. The directory looks a little bit confusing. Let's change the view. Now copy the logo from my desktop images folder. Next, in the image source, provide the link to our logo using src at curly braces images logo.png. After this div, add a heading of h4 with the text sign in to your account. Now, let's start adding our input fields. Begin by adding a label for username. Give label text username. Then create an input field of type text. Give it an ID of username. Name it username and add a placeholder. Wrap the both label and input field inside a div. And then wrap the input field inside another div. Now let's move to the password section. Copy this entire div and paste it. Change the label to password, the input type to password, change the ID and name to password and provide a placeholder of password. Finally, add a submit button and wrap it inside a div that completes our login form. Now let's put the form inside a div and then wrap the whole thing into another div. Let's run the project and check it in the browser. It seems like the logo is not displaying. Let's inspect it. Open it in a new tab. It redirects us to the login page. This means we need to whitelist this image URL to display our logo. Open the security config class. Let's move it to a new line for better readability. After auth, add request matchers. Inside the parentheses, give our image URL followed by / to allow everything that comes after this image. Then add permit all to whitelist the URL. Please make sure to check the order. First, we need to add our whitelisted URL. Then, we need to add the other line to tell Spring Boot that to access every other URL, the user needs to be authenticated. Restart the server and check it in the browser. Our logo is now visible. Now, it's time to add some style to our login page. I prefer to see the changes in real time. So, let's open the Chrome Developer Tools. Select the Elements tab. On the right hand side, it shows the applied style to this specific element. Click on the CLS. This will allow us to add new class. Now, let's start adding Tailwind CSS specific styles. Start with the body. Give it a background color of PG Slate 100. It has changed the color of the body. Let's copy the class and paste it into the body tag of our HTML. Now come to this div after the body tag. Give it a class of flex. Set a minimum height of full. Add flex call to position items vertically. Justify center to align items along the center of the container's main axis. Add horizontal padding of 6 and vertical padding of 12. For the larger screen, add horizontal padding of 8. Again, copy this class with the element and paste it into our HTML file. In our next div, add a margin top 5, center the element using MX Auto and set MXW SM to give it full width. Let's copy this class and paste it into our HTML. Now in the form, give it a white background, make the overflow hidden, give padding 10, make the corners rounded, add a large box shadow, add vertical space between child element using space Y and the value of 6. Copy this element and paste them into our HTML. Our form is now taking its shape. This is a hidden input field for the CSRF token. Spring Boot has added it for us to protect against CSRF attacks. Now, within this div that holds the logo, let's apply some Tailwind classes. To center the logo, we will use MX Auto, and for sizing add MXW SM and W full. For the image itself, including the class MX Auto, set the height of 20 and leave the weight as auto. Now let's copy the class element from the div and paste it into our HTML. Similarly, copy the class element from the image and paste it as well. This ensures our styling is consistent. Next up is our heading. Let's begin by applying some style classes. Include a top margin, use text center to center the text and make it slightly larger. Make the font weight bold. Adjust the line height for better readability. Fine-tune the character spacing. Finally, switch the text color to deep gray with a value of 900. Let's replicate the style by copying it and then pasting it onto our HTML element. Now, it's time to give our input fields level a fresh look. Start by presenting them as a block. Opt for slightly smaller font size. Inject a touch of medium weight to the font. Provide a comfortable line height for readability. Change the text color to the same as the heading. Copy this class along with the elements and insert it into our HTML file. Now, in the parent div of our input field, include a top margin of 5. It's time to refine the style of our username input field. Create a outline ring with subtle box shadow, set as ring 1, make it block element, extending to full width and round its edges. Add vertical padding of 1.5. Alter the text color to text gray 900. This will be the color of the input field as we type. Apply a subtle box shadow for polished look. Remove the border using border 0. Include ring inset to render the ring on the inside of the element. Assign a color to the ring, in this case ring gray 300. Extend the horizontal padding to 3, providing some breathing space for the text. Now, for the placeholder text, choose a lighter shade like placeholder text gray 400. Upon focus, enhance the ring slightly with focus ring 2. For focus, also set ring inset. Alter the ring color upon focus. Consider ring indigo 600. Fine-tune the font size and conclude with a suitable line height. With these adjustments, our input field looks just right. Now let's transport this style from our console to our HTML page. Our password field will adopt a similar style. Copy the level style and apply it to the password level. Introduce a top margin to the div. Copy the style classes of the username field. Paste it into the password field. Now, let's focus on giving our submit button a polished look. Here, what we will do? Assign it a background color of BG indigo 600. Add a horizontal padding of 3. Include vertical padding of 1.5. Opt for slightly smaller text size. Lend a touch of semi-bold to the font. Establish a line height of 6. Change the text color to white. Set it as flex element. Stretching to full width and justify it at the center. Round the edges for sleek appearance. Apply a subtle box shadow for depth. Add a ring, making it inset. Upon hover, lighten the indigo color. Outline it for visibility using focus visible outline. Apply a subtle offset to the outline. Finally, harmonize the outline color with our button. And here you have it. Our stunning form is ready. Copy this class with the element and paste it into our HTML. Let's put this login form to the test. First, restart the server. Now give your username, and for password, copy the password from the console and paste it. Click login. Excellent. We are in. Let's configure our controller to manage this main URL. It will fix the white label error for 404 not found. In our controller, add a get mapping for the root and create a method called dashboard. This will return the name of the HTML page that will display it when the URL is accessed. Let's name it dashboard. Next, in the resources folder, go to template and add another HTML file named dashboard. Don't forget to add Thymleaf namespace in the HTML tag. Copy it from our login form HTML and paste it here. Change the title to dashboard. In the body, add a H1 heading with the text Welcome to Dashboard. After that, let's add a logout button for easy access after logging in. Insert a form tag with the action set to logout and a method set to post. The submit button should have the type submit and the text logout. Restart the server again and check it in the browser. Provide our username, paste the password from the console and click login. Perfect. We are logged in. Now let's try to logging out from the dashboard. Let's test it with an incorrect username and password. Click login. Aha! It redirects us back to the login page. It would be better to provide some feedback. Check the address bar. There's a new parameter error added after the failed login attempts. So we can use this to give our feedback. Open our login HTML page. Just after the heading, let's add another div. I want this div to be visible only if there is a login error. So we will add a condition with th if to check if the error parameter exists in the URL using $ curly brackets param.error. We will add a p tag with the feedback text, password and username mismatch. Restart the server and check it in the browser. Update the URL, refresh and provide the wrong username and password. Now the feedback text is visible. Let's style it. Open the console. Give this div background color of BG Rose 100. Padding of 4. Justify center for putting the text in the center. A small rounded border. Add a ring of ring 1 with a color of ring rose 200. That looks pretty good. Copy the style and paste them into our login HTML. That's it. Now once again, restart the server, check it in the browser, update the URL, try to log in, and here we go, we are in. Now let's try logging out. We are redirected to our login page. Provide a wrong username and password, and there it is. Our error message is showing. Congratulations! You have successfully set up a secure login system. With tailored style and user-friendly feedback, navigating through our application is breeze. Remember, attention to detail is a key. Keep refining and optimizing your code for seamless user experience. Well done and happy coding!